Hello, welcome back to the Games Kingdom. My name's Carl King and today we're going to be doing another review for Gunpowder Studios. This is an unpaid review, so these are my thoughts on the game. And if you remember a little while ago we did a review of Seven Moons Heroes of Dragonreach, so if you want to check that one out as well, that video is on my YouTube channel, The Games Kingdom. And it's also on my Facebook page as well as the Gunpowder Studios pages as well. So what are we doing today? Well, we're going to be having a look at another one of their games, which is Bag of Dungeon. This was a successful Kickstarter from a couple of years back, and they've asked me to do a video review of this game as well. So what is it? So basically, Bag of Dungeon is a dungeon crawl adventure type game where you and your fellow characters, instead of playing like a role play version of like D&D or something like that, this is a tile laying adventure game where you and your fellow sort of adventurers are entering the dungeon to steal and escape from the dungeon with the Ring of Creation. So basically you're going to go around revealing tiles, walking through the dungeon, fighting monsters and hopefully finding the Ring of Creation, and then exiting the dungeon, beating the red dragon. And then if the ring escapes, anybody left inside has one turn to get out or the dungeon collapses. So let's have a bit of an unboxing and a bit of a sort of quick flick through of the rules of Bag of Dungeon. So we'll start with the tiles. So as you can see, they're on nice sort of chunky card, and on the back of the tiles there is a generic sort of dragon design. You have a start tile, you have these red stroke black sided dots, and they will be placed out in the dungeon when a tile comes out, denoting that there is a monster there. And then when you get to that tile with one of your adventurers, you will pull a monster out of the bag and that's what you'll be facing. So basically it's a stack of tiles that you set up before the game. You have the start tile and then you start revealing and laying other tiles down on the table. As I say, you've got things here where you've got the monster tiles. You've also got some equipment tiles there, which you will sort of pick up as you go through the game. That's obviously the token there for the red dragon, which will come out once the exit is revealed. So as you can see, there are quite a few of each of these tiles for the dungeon itself, and obviously for placing things down to donate that there's monsters, and for weapons and bits and pieces that can be picked up and collected and used by your adventurers along the way to help in your quest. So you've got specific and sort of special tiles, like the monster ones. You've got a healing pool tile there, and again just some more generic dungeon tiles. Then you've got again some more here, so these are where you will pick up and find items. So you'll put one of the items down from a stack, and then these also here are the monster sort of generic tiles that will go in the bag, which will be selected when you land on a monster tile, like these ones here with the M and number on them. So again, you've got different things. You've got skeletons, you've got mummies, so you know there's a different sort of monster that you could sort of potentially face on each of the squares that you reveal. And then they will also have on there how they are sort of going to affect you, so that it will tell you that this particular troll has got 10 health and how many dice it uses. And then this is the last sort of punch board, which has got the exit tile, and that has monster 12 on there, which is obviously the dragon. That goes on there, and to get out you must defeat the dragon. You can use any weapon except arrows. Arrows don't have any effect on it, and if you get the dragon lance, which is this one here, that can only be used on the dragon itself. It doesn't affect anything else. So you get a nice little stack of monsters and things within your set of tiles there. So there's quite a variant of things that you can face in the game. I've played this game several times. I have a copy which I have passed on to somebody, but this is a copy that has been sent for me to review, and I've played this game solo quite a few times, and it is a very nice game just to break out. You can take it on holiday, you can introduce non-gamers to it. It's a bit like Escape the Dark Castle in that respect, but you sort of play this straight out of the box. You've got sort of your generic tiles and meeples here for people to use, and then dice. So nice little bits and pieces there. You've got a bag of monsters. That's where your tiles go, and you pull the monsters out of that bag to see what you're going to be facing. When you find items, you'll do the same thing there. You'll pull those out of a bag, and then you've got a generic bag there that you can sort of put other bits and pieces in for storage and such like. Nice little box there, and with some nice art on it. Like their other games, they don't take up a lot of shelf space, and they're easy to stick in a bag if you're or a backpack. Like I say, you could play these even on a train or something, to be honest. It's nice and compact. These cards here are some additional sort of campaign stroke games that you can play through. So there's 11 of those, so you could sort of potentially use these and play a nice little campaign just as a nice little addition. And you can play this, as I say, you can play this game solo as well as with a sort of adventuring party. You get the standard sort of generic cards here, so fighters, both male and female, pictures on the side there. So you've got your fighter, your dwarf, your healer, and the elf. And then obviously you've got your tokens here will sort of be used on here to donate what your lives are, your health, monsters health, that sort of thing, VPs. So you know, the strength of the dragon. So you know, and then you've got these areas where when you collect those items when you're going round, they will obviously be used in certain boxes here, so you can only put so many for use on your hand, so many weapons, sort of armour and things here, weapons, and also footwear. So obviously it's not something where you can just sort of get sort of a lot of items and just sort of carry them around. You can only carry and use as many as will fit on the boxes. Obviously you can change those as you go along if you find something better. And then we have the rulebook, which is a nice compact rulebook, and again gives you the game setup, tells you how to sort of set the board tiles out, sort of so that you can take those one at a time, depending on whether you're playing solo or in a group. So as I say, it tells you how to sort of build the dungeon, how to use your action points, spawning and fighting monsters. So as I say, once a tile comes out, you will then place a monster token on that, and if anybody goes on that, then they will obviously have an encounter. So again, you've got fight, damage, stayed out, critical hits, escape before any combat round. You may go back or past to an existing tile, spend 1 action point and take 1 damage. Or if you want, if you win a fight and if you lose a fight, it gives you what happens in that particular sort of scenario. So you've got monsters regenerating health, tagging other adventurers. You can spend 1 AP during a fight to call one nearby adventurer in to help you, provided they have enough APs available to reach your tile. So, and then you've got things like ranged combat. So if you've got bows, etc., you can shoot into the combat, or you can shoot at monsters that are further away, so you don't need to get into combat with them and potentially suffer damage or die. There's spells and potions. You've got your infantry, trading and symbols. So then also it explains, obviously, as I said earlier, where these things go on your player board. So depending on what you find or what you trade with other adventurers, you will swap those in and out, and or add things into spaces that you've got. So there's the healing pool symbol there on that tile. So once placed, put 1 token on the healing pool for each adventurer still in the game. To use it, you end your turn on the healing pool and you remove a token from the tile and reset your health to full health. So that's quite a good thing. If you can find that, you can go and use that if you're getting low on your health, so that will help you sort of survive the game. Then you've got obviously the item tiles. These are the single-use tiles. Whoever reaches one first draws 1 item. There's traps. When does the ring appear? So whoever lays the last dungeon tile from the stack rolls 2 dice and places the ring of creation on the M tile that you've rolled. So if you, as it says here, if you roll a 9, the ring is placed on tile M9. So that could be anywhere in the dungeon. So you may have to go back and find it again, or retrace your path and go back and pick it up. So if there's no monster on the tile where the ring appears, place a token on the ring, then replace it with a monster when an adventurer lands on the tile. So you will have to defeat a monster on the tile where the ring appears, even if there isn't one there already, just as an added little sort of obstacle to getting it. And then obviously defeating the red dragon, it waits patiently at the exit and it won't move off that tile. And it is quite healthy. It is a 20 health, 4 dice combat monster, and you have to defeat it to be able to get out. So then you've got also the solo game, so that runs through. There's some only sort of a single page there telling you what slight differences are in the solo game, and then obviously you've got some advanced rules. So once you've played a couple of times in the sort of with the normal rules, you can play with the advanced rules to give you a bit more of a challenge. And then you've got also, as I said earlier, the Dragon Scrolls, which is a further 11 adventures that add new quests, enemies and treasure to Bag of Dungeons. So you pick a card, pick a character and pick a fight. So basically, as I say, you could potentially, if you wanted to, just pick one of those at random, or you could work through from 1 to 11 as a little campaign. So to say, that's basically it. There's not a lot to the game. There doesn't need to be honest. It is what it is. It's a nice compact table presence. Bag of Dungeon by Gunpowder Studios. If you've got anybody who likes things like D&D, or you're hoping to introduce perhaps younger gamers into the hobby, this could be an excellent way of getting them to sort of play a game. It's quite exciting for younger players, I would think, because you've got that element of not knowing what tiles are coming out, not knowing the monsters that are coming out and the items, and then obviously fighting them, trying to get rid of them, and then hopefully finding the ring, a bit like obviously in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. So if you've got youngsters who are interested in the films, have seen the films, read the books, again, this is going to appeal to them as well, because it's got those sort of fantasy elements that gamers know and love. So as I say, check it out. It's Gunpowder Studios. They have a website, so you can purchase off there. I think it's in a lot of good sort of gaming stores, and also online retailers are stocking this as well. It's not very expensive. It's sort of £20-ish, maybe a little bit more, but for what it is game wise, this is excellent value for money. And as I say, a lovely gateway into the hobby and getting people playing, and also something to break out if you've got non-gamers round for an evening. You could just sort of break this out in 10 minutes, very quick and easy to explain, easy to pick up the rules, roll some dice, do a bit of combat, do a bit of fighting, and try and get everybody out safely and sort of getting the Ring of Creation back. So as I said guys, Bag of Dungeon, Gunpowder Studios, check it out, and until we see you again, bye for now.